On Tuesday, the 40th president of Uruguay, Pepe Mujica, died at the age of 89. During a speech at the CELAC Forum, Chinese President Xi Jinping declared his support for Latin American and Caribbean countries to reject external interference. And the Venezuelan government denounced on Tuesday the bias of the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Volker Turk, in the face of violations against Venezuelans abroad. Hello, welcome to From the South. I'm Luis Alberto Matos from the teleSUR studios in Havana, Cuba. We'll begin with the news. Stay with us. On Tuesday, the 40th president of Uruguay, Pepe Mujica, died at the age of 89 after a long struggle against esophageal cancer. This was confirmed by the current Uruguayan president, Yamandu Orsi, in a message shared on X. Mujica was born on May 20th, 1935, in the city of Montevideo, in a family of flower growers of Basque descent. His political development began in the 60s when he resorted to the armed struggle against the civil-military dictatorship from the National Liberation Movement Tupamaros. He became president of the nation for the period 2010-2015. During his presidency, Mujica vindicated and prioritized social investment for the sake of welfare. Mujica has been described as the world's most humble head of state because of his austere lifestyle and because of his donation of about 90% of his monthly salary to charities that benefit the poor and small entrepreneurs. And from the guerrilla movement to the presidency of Uruguay, the life of Pepe Mujica. Let's learn more about it.
José Mujica has been one of Uruguay's most influential figures in recent history. From territorial militancy and the guerrilla movement to the presidency of the Republic, his life was marked by struggle and political reflection.
I think there is too much. Too much believing that we multiply happiness by piling up things, and we live in a mirage. Politics has been transformed into a growing recipe book of economic character and an abandonment of philosophy, a serious mistake.
José Pepe Mujica was born on May 20, 1935 in Montevideo. In the 1960s, he joined the National Liberation Movement Tupamaros, and in 1972 he was imprisoned and spent 13 years in harsh conditions of detention. After being released when democracy was restored, he founded the Popular Participation Movement and began his institutional path. He was legislator, senator, minister, and finally President of the Republic.
I pledge, on my honor, to loyally perform the office entrusted to me, and to keep and defend the Constitution of the Republic.
As president, he promoted social laws that marked Uruguay, such as the law of the voluntary interruption of pregnancy, the legalization of cannabis, and the law on same-sex marriage. Its simple and direct style made him a relevant figure worldwide. He retired with more than 60% of popularity.
I'm not leaving. I'm coming. I will leave with my last breath. And wherever I am, I will be for you. I will be with you. Because it is the superior way to be with life. Thank you, dear people.
We don't know how to thank him for what he did for us and for all of America, because he is the President of America, not of Uruguay alone.
In 2024, Mujica was diagnosed with esophageal cancer, and a year later, he publicly announced that he would not undergo any further treatment. The news shocked the region.
I want to say goodbye to my colleagues and my compatriots. What I ask is that they leave me alone, do not harass me with stupid interviews. My cycle has been over for a long time. Sincerely, I am dying, and the warrior has the right to rest.
In recent months, he has been visited by many international personalities, including the presidents of Colombia, Chile, Guatemala, Bolivia, and Brazil. The latter said that Mujica was the most extraordinary personality he had ever met in his life.
People do not choose siblings and people do not choose parents, but people choose a comrade. And I can tell you that of all the presidents I have known, with whom I have been friends and lived with for many years, he is not a president, he is a companion chosen by me to be my companion. Therefore, he is not a president, he is a partner chosen by me to be my fellow. Thank you, dear, you too are one of the best I have found in this long-suffering America of ours.
Despite his delicate state of health, Mujica continued to reflect publicly on national and regional political issues, as well as on existential issues to which he always gave a great importance.
Life is beautiful in spite of difficulties and setbacks. And to triumph in life is to start up every time you fall. And stop whining, lick your wounds, and move forward. I believe that we come from nothing and we go to nothing. Life is the adventure of molecules, and as such we have to interpret it. The idea that this is a valley of tears, and we have to behave well to go to paradise. No, hell and paradise are here, and the battle for human happiness must be fought here. And we must live life with intensity.
Flower grower, farmer, political activist, guerrilla fighter, hostage, congressman, senator, minister, and president of the Republic. José Mujica retired from public life having achieved the highest honors, faithful to a maxim he made his own and which summarizes a legacy of those who transcend: to live one's life in such a way that life remains in death.
Mateo Grille, teleSUR, Montevideo, Uruguay.
And through social media X, presidents and former presidents react to the death of Pepe Mujica. President of Uruguay, Yamandu Orsi, took to X to express that it is with deep sorrow that we announce the death of our comrade Pepe Mujica, president, militant, referent, and leader. We'll miss you very much, dear old friend. Thank you for everything you gave us and for your deep love for your people. President of Mexico, Claudia Sheinbaum, states, we deeply regret the passing of our beloved Pepe Mujica, an example to Latin America and the entire world for his wisdom, foresight, and simplicity. We extend our sadness and condolences to his people, friends, and the people of Uruguay. Also, former President Evo Morales took to his social account and shared the following: we are deeply saddened by the passing of my brother Pepe Mujica. I always remember his advice, full of experience and wisdom. He was a fervent believer in integration and the great homeland. His teachings and a great example remain. I extend my condolences to his family, fellow activists, and the Uruguayan people. All of Latin America is in mourning. Also, President of Bolivia, Luis Arce, shared his condolences. Fly high, dear Pepe. With deeply saddened hearts, we bid farewell to our brother and comrade Pepe Mujica, a true beacon of hope, humility, and of the struggle for social justice. His life was a testament to rebellion and love for his people. His legacy will live on in our hearts, in the history of Uruguay and the greater homeland, always reminding us of the importance of not giving up in our mission to achieve a more just and united world. To Lucias, to his family and loved ones, we send our deepest condolences and heartfelt condolences at this difficult time. We now have our first break coming up. Remember, you can join us on TikTok at teleSUR English, where you'll find news in different formats, news updates, and much more. I'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back. In China, during a speech at the China CELAC Forum, President Xi Jinping declared his support for Latin American and Caribbean countries to reject external interference and follow a development path in accordance with their national conditions. During his inaugural speech at the 4th edition of the China CELAC Ministerial Forum, the Chinese president said that the countries of the region stand united against geopolitical tensions, confrontations, unilateralism, and protectionism. On the other hand, he rejected bullying and high-handed practices a day after Beijing and Washington announced a truce that will see tariffs cut by 10% and 30%. President Xi also said that China and CELAC will implement the Global Development Initiative to defend the multilateral trading system and strengthen industrial chains. In other topics, the Venezuelan government denounced on Tuesday the bias of the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Volker Turk, in the face of violations against Venezuelans abroad. In a statement, the Venezuelan government pointed out the following, that in his recent lukewarm statement, Volker Turk demonstrates an unacceptable double standard while he vehemently attacks Venezuela. He remains silent in the face of abuses committed by governments aligned with hegemonic interests. He seems more concerned with preserving his office than with demanding human rights. The document also states that the position of High Commissioner requires firmness, not ambiguity. His inaction in the face of these crimes reflects a negligent and complacent attitude towards the systematic violations of the human rights of Venezuelans. Venezuela will continue to demand justice and denounce the political use of our migrants as hostages in the war against our people. The Venezuelan government statement referred to the statements offered by UN High Commissioner for Human Rights Volker Turk when he expressed the entity's alleged concern about the deportation of non-nationals, especially those incarcerated in El Salvador. According to Liz Throssell, spokesperson for the Office of the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, since U.S. President Trump took office in January, 142,000 immigrants have been deported from that nation. Throssell further denounced that the fate and whereabouts of some 245 Venezuelans and 30 Salvadorans removed to El Salvador remained unknown. Likewise, she claimed that the detainees were taken to the Secot prison without their families being notified.
Recent months of large numbers of non-nationals from the United States of America, especially to countries other than those of their origin, raises a number of human rights concerns. The UN Human Rights Office has information from family members and lawyers regarding more than 100 Venezuelans believed to be held in Secot. These reports indicate that many of the detainees were not informed of the US government's intention to deport them to be held in a third country, that many did not have access to a lawyer, and that they were effectively unable to challenge the lawfulness of their removal before being flown out of the US. This situation raises serious concerns regarding a wide array of rights that are fundamental to both US and international law. Rights to due process, to be protected from arbitrary detention, to equality before the law, to be protected from exposure to torture or other irreparable harm in other states, and to an effective remedy.
A former U.S. Congressman Matt Gaetz filmed a documentary at the Secot prison in El Salvador. Images show Venezuelan migrants denouncing they have been kidnapped. The documentary, recorded at the so-called terrorism confinement center in El Salvador, shows the daily environment inmates face. Images from the film show the detainees shouting in unison that they are currently being kidnapped. 252 Venezuelan migrants remain detained at the Salvadoran prison after being deported without prior trial from the United States, accused of belonging to the now defunct Tren de Aragua criminal gang. We now have our second short break coming up. Before we invite you to visit our Facebook page at teleSUR English, there you'll be able to watch our top stories, special live coverage, and much more. Follow our page and activate the notification button to stay up to date on the world's most recent events. A final break, we'll be right back. Welcome back. U.S. President Donald Trump arrived in the Saudi Arabian capital of Riyadh on Tuesday on his first international tour of the Middle East since taking office. The tour will last 4 days and will also take him to Qatar and the United Arab Emirates. During his stay in the Arab Kingdom, U.S. President Trump is scheduled to inaugurate a U.S.-Saudi investment forum and will be received by the highest authorities of the Saudi royal family. President Trump's visit to Saudi Arabia will focus on investment and trade deals, but it comes at a critical time for the region with Washington's attempts to renew the nuclear talk with Iran. And U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced that the United States has imposed new sanctions on Iran after another round of nuclear talks. Rubio explained that the actions are part of President Donald Trump's call for maximum pressure against Iran's proliferation activities and to ensure that Tehran can never obtain a nuclear weapon. The new sanctions were imposed a day after the fourth round of indirect talks on Tehran's nuclear program were held in Oman. For his part, Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian said that the negotiations are a sign of commitment to peace and the search for an agreement, but made it clear that Tehran is not willing to abandon its nuclear facilities as demanded by the counterpart. In Palestine, at least 3 people were killed and 10 injured after a new Israeli attack hit the largest hospital in southern Gaza. Health authorities reported that the bombing early Tuesday morning hit the surgery department of Nasser Hospital, located in the city of Han Yunis. The Wafa news agency reported that the attack killed journalist Hassan Asli, who was receiving treatment for injuries sustained in an earlier bombing. His death brings to 213 the number of media workers killed by Israel in Gaza since October 2023. Occupation Army attacks claim at least 11 lives since early this morning. An Israeli Edan Alexander, who was released on Monday by the Palestinian Islamic Resistance Movement, Hamas, has declined a personal meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Due to his refusal to meet with the Prime Minister, the Israel Broadcasting Corporation said that political controversy has been generated within the regime. Although the reasons for his refusal are not yet known, information sources indicate that the causes may be related to dissatisfaction with the performance of the Israeli government while he was held hostage. Should be noted that Alexander is the first person to be released since the 8-week ceasefire with Hamas, when violent attacks on the Gaza Strip took the lives of thousands of people. Meanwhile, in Syria, the education system faces a huge challenge due to deterioration and destruction as a result of the war, thus preventing the reconstruction and adequate staffing. Several education institutions were razed to the ground by the war and have not yet been recovered. Some that have obtained the support of international entities for restoration face a shortage of experts. The closure of numerous schools has forced students to flock to the few schools that are still functioning, causing them to be beyond capacity due to a shortage of teachers. The government is undertaking more reconstruction efforts in deteriorated schools. The United Nations Children's Fund reports that over 7.5 million children in Syria need humanitarian assistance. And as we open this news brief, the 40th president of Uruguay passed away at the age of 89 earlier in the afternoon local time in Uruguay. As we were saying, different heads of states have come to social media to convey their condolences to the family of Pepe Mujica and to the people and to express their solidarity with the people of Uruguay. This is the latest news we were getting from Uruguay, as the Venezuelan president Nicolás Maduro also took to his social media to express the following. The Venezuelan president expressed his sorrow for the passing of Uruguayan former president Pepe Mujica. It is with deep sorrow that we convey our condolences and feelings of solidarity to the comrades and family of Jose Pepe Mujica, a humble man and tireless social fighter whose life was one of struggle, facing all vicissitudes with fortitude and dignity. The people of Uruguay and the world will always remember him with affection. From revolutionary, libertarian Venezuela, heir of Bolívar and Chávez, we send a fraternal embrace to the people of José Gervasio Artigas, our brother people. Honor and eternal glory to Pepe Mujica. Like this, we have come to the end of this news brief. You can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. So join us on social media, Facebook, X, Instagram, Telegram, and TikTok. Telesur English, I'm Luis Alberto Matos. Thanks for watching.